You may have heard that being able to get up from the floor without using your hands can help you live 6 years longer. There is research that shows this, and I'm here to give you a couple of tricks that I use to practice to get this skill back, because it's a use it or lose it skill. So these are 3 things that you could just add into your day. I really like to do these when I'm watching TV, especially the rolling around one, because it's kind of fun. Make sure you're on a padded surface for that. All right, so the first one is so kind of obvious, it's a little sad, but it's squatting. So whenever you're squatting, you're using all the muscles and the joints. Your hips, knees, and ankles need to bend, and these muscles need to get strong and be agile enough to get you all the way down to the floor, especially this going down part of the movement. This eccentric movement is really key. So that's number 1. Whenever you think of it during your day, do some squats. Pick a number. I like to pick like 20 per day. And whenever I'm sick of sitting at my desk, I do some squats. I'm in line, whatever. Do your squats. They're so important. If it bothers your knees, do them against a wall and just hold your squat position at whatever level is okay for your knees. Okay, that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is my favorite. It's so much fun. And all it means is we're crossing our feet just like you were going to stand up from the floor, and this is unusual for most of us. So if you're doing a roll and your feet end up on the sides, the blades of your feet, you're going to lean forward with your body weight, put your fingers down, and just give yourself a little lift. And then roll, switch feet, and push the blades of your feet down and get a little air. And doing this will teach you to put pressure onto your feet, and it also builds mobility in your hips, knees, and ankles in a good way. Be careful if something is injured or hurts. But that's a really fun and great way to get the action of body weight forward that eventually helps you come up in that finish at the end of a mat sequence where we do our seal and we come up to standing. The last tip is that body weight forward that you just saw me practice with that crossing of the feet is a little bit funky and hard to feel when you're getting used to it, especially if you tend to be a little tight in your hips. If you have a nice deep hip socket, that can be hard to find. So grabbing some weights, it doesn't really matter how heavy they are, but maybe not so heavy that you can't hold them up. But doing that movement with your feet crossed, or even with your feet straight ahead, which is super hard for me because I have very tight ankles. But that action of getting your body weight forward and having this little assist from the weights is really helpful in that feeling of coming up and forward, and helps you not feel like you're going to fall backwards. And this is a tip I got from Lori Coleman Brown. It's really helpful in rolling especially. So if you have trouble with rolling, hanging onto some weights is also kind of a nice little trick. I hope those help. I would love to hear from you in the comments below if these tips help you regain your standing up from the floor. You can also practice that little trick of going on the blades of your feet to come down. So it's just the same thing. You just come down and roll, and blades of the feet stand up. And just practice using your hands until it starts to become natural, and you might find, one day you stand up without your hands again. So again, use it or lose it. I hope that this helps, and I'll see you soon.